Hey folks, it's Abby and today I'm going to be going through my third quarter book haul. So this is slightly ridiculous that it's coming after my October book haul, but I just did not have time to film this in October, so I hope you will forgive me. But this is going to be the books that I've hauled in from July, August and September. If you'd like to see my birthday book haul, it is up there for you to watch, and also you can check out my previous quarter book hauls if you'd like to. But let's get started straight away and delve straight into July. I ended up with 3 books. One was an unhaul from Olivia Savannah, linked down below, and the other 2 were from my 2 book boxes, which is Illumicrate and Goldsborough. I'll go with Olivia's unhaul first, which is My Name is Monster by Katie Hale. This is a post-pandemic work of fiction set mainly in the UK, in Scotland and Northern England, but it also does have a sojourn into the Nordic countries as well. We follow what appears to be the last known survivor from this pandemic. Every other human has died off and she is trying to live and survive in this kind of desolate landscape. And she comes across a very young girl and decides that she is going to mother her. She doesn't know how she survived, but she's going to look after her and they're going to become a family unit. And it is their story, their tale of surviving both in the environmental sense of trying to just live, but also in learning to live with other people. I've read this one. Very interesting little book. I'm very glad that I read it, and I like that it's a Cumbrian author not too far away from home for me. Another one I've read all 3 of these, that is the Illumicrate book, which is The Drowned Woods by Emily Lloyd-Jones. This is an American author writing about Welsh mythology, so questionable in that sense. However, there isn't too much in here that is supposed to be specifically Welsh. It's supposed to be just inspired, so I believe it's better than her previous works. I assume that Ms. Lloyd-Jones has Welsh heritage because of her name, but she is American. I enjoyed this. I found it really fun. It's a very fun, simple, basic little book. A very easy to read, beautiful edition from Illumicrate, but not too taxing, don't have to think too much. I did like the morals that it gave, but yeah, it's nothing special, and I would probably unhaul it because it's just fine, apart from the fact that Illumicrate made it absolutely gorgeous, so it lives on my shelves now. I know, but I paid for it. But yeah, it was fun. It was a fun read. I would be interested to see what people who are actually Welsh think about this one. But yeah, it was just a fun little read for me. But on the other hand, Goldsborough for this month gave us The Final Strife by Sarah el-Arifi. 1, I would have loved some sprayed edges, but it's in a book. 2, this book is goddamn amazing. So it is set in a world where people are divided by their blood type rather than skin colour. As far as I can tell, everyone's skin in this book is black. So the blood types are translucent, blue and red. The reds are the higher ups, the blues are kind of the working class, and the translucent are invisible slaves. In this world, some children, some babies from the red bloodline were stolen about 18, 19, 20 years ago and were raised by blue-blooded individuals to come to side with them in the war and be used against the red-blooded individuals in fighting off the oppression. This book is fantastic. It has all of the possible representation that you can think of inside its pages, and it's all done beautifully. I'm not going to talk about this too much because I went on a bit of a positive rant in my monthly wrap-up, but this is amazing. More people need to read this. I'm so excited for the sequel. I require it. Goldsborough better make a matching edition because I need it on my shelves. This book just deserves so much more love. It's absolutely beautiful inside and out. It's a fantastic read. Highly recommend The Final Strife. And then we have the August books that I got. Again, same as last month, I got 3. One of them was purchased by me this time, and the other 2 were from the book boxes. The one from me is London Falling by Paul Cornell. This is the first book in the Shadow Police series, and the reason I got this is, I've still not unwrapped it, is because I have The Severed Streets, which is the second book in this series, and I've had it since approximately 2016. And I'd like to be able to read it, so I had to buy the first book. This series is about magical police in London. To no one's surprise, Ben Aronovich, the author of Rivers of London, has blurbed this one, so yeah, very excited to dive in. Then the 2 book boxes, Then the two book box books. Goldsboro was Lost in Time by A.G. Riddle. This I ended up giving 4 stars. I really enjoyed it, and I think this is a gorgeous edition, but I wanted more dinosaurs than we got. My main negative about this, I gave it 4 stars, is that it felt like a big section had just been cut out, like the editors have just said to remove it. Biggest mistake they ever made. But this is still a really enjoyable time travel sci-fi mystery read that I really enjoyed. And then the last one for August is Babel by R.F. Kuang, the Illumicrate edition. Yes, I have read this. Yes, I gave it 5 stars. Yes, it is beautiful inside and out. This is a fantastic book that talks about translation, about culture, about colonisation from the British Empire, and about elitism and classism. It has every possible conversation under the sun. I despise a certain specific character. If you've read it, you know exactly who I mean, and you agree with me. But this book is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. In my opinion, it deserves all of the hype that it got. So I'm very glad that I was able to get this beautiful Illumicrate edition. Compared to the other months, September was a little bit much. So let's just dive straight in. I'm going to start with the Goldsboro book for this month, which was Mindwalker by Kate Dillon. I've read this, I loved it. Sci-fi where people have tech implanted in their brains, but it blows up once they hit about 18, so they die at this point, and someone is figuring out what the hell to do about that. Then the Illumicrate book was The Book Eaters by Sun Yu Dean. This is a world where there are creatures that eat books instead of food, but sometimes they will birth mind-eaters who eat brains instead of books. And our main character births a mind-eater and wants to save him from the fact that the rest of the book-eaters just want to kill the mind-eaters and just not deal with them. So those were the bookses. Christ. And then the rest of the books I got from Hannah from Ladder N, who will be linked down below, Waypoint Books, which I know is Hannah but it's different, so that will also be linked, and then Olivia from Olivia's Catastrophe. So Olivia has the smallest number here, so we will do her first. She sent me Thrust by Lydia Yuknovich, and this book seems to be a dystopian on when the Earth decides to just not deal with our bullshit anymore. She dives into the river and finds herself travelling between times and waterways in a race to rescue the future and past of other lost children. Can you see why I said yes to this unhaul from Olivia? And then another one that she unhauled through to me is A Tall History of Sugar by Cardella Forbes, and this is a historical fantasy where Moshe, M-O-S-H-E, is born with bluish translucent skin in the late 1950s in Jamaica. So I'm very excited for that one. I forgot a book. I bought this book myself. It is I'm Glad My Mum Died by Jeanette McCurdy, the star of, well, I think the star of iCarly, alongside Miranda, I forget her surname. This is a fantastic memoir. It's so good. Will break your heart. Adore it. But yes, now on to Hannah and Waypoint. So we'll go with Hannah first. Hannah was unhauling some books and I got All Quiet on the Western Front by, what's his first name? Erich Maria Remarque, which is about German schoolboys in 1914 being brainwashed to go to war, and Charles Darwin's On the Origin of Species, which is his whole thing on evolution, which I'm very excited to read. And then Waypoint, I actually unboxed this in a Middle-earthathon vlog, I think it was, but this is a box that I got from Waypoint Books. One is a book that I just bought, which is the new version of Armageddon Outta Here by Derek Landy, which I'm very excited to read, a collection of short stories in the School Dr. Pleasant universe. There is the book that she sent a list of like books that sound interesting, and then she sends you the one that you pick and an extra one as well that she thinks you'll like. The one I picked was Bluebird by C.L. Piolot. And the tagline for this, that I'm like, Rig is here to be gay, do crime, and hopefully not die in the process. So, obviously I picked that one. It's a sci-fi book. And then the book that Hannah sent for Waypoint is Erotic Stories for Punjabi Widows by Bali Kaj as well, which is a story about a not-so-dutiful daughter being pulled back into the Punjabi community, and she says that she's going to take a teaching job at her local temple to help the Punjabi widows write in English, and the Punjabi widows happen to really enjoy the erotica that they find. So those are all the books that I ended up getting in the past 3 months, technically. It's a fair amount, 16 in total, which it seems like nothing compared to the gigantic birthday haul, but still, 16 in total. And I'm really excited to get to the ones that I haven't got to yet. So let me know down in the comments below, have you read any of these? If you have, what did you think of them? Please let me know. I love hearing your thoughts. And also, out of the ones I've not read, which ones should I prioritise? Thank you so much for watching, folks. My social media descriptions are all linked down below, and also the contact warnings for these books are in the description box as well. If you'd like to see some more from me, please do hit that red subscribe button, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!